opening the line.
We're ready.
Congratulations. Welcome to Royal Canin. This was my favorite part of NAO training. I remember taking a big inhalation of breath and thinking, thanks, finally. And as I glanced around the classroom and noticed the sudden impact these 5 simple words had on the rest of my classmates, the final result was a huge collective smile, and I knew everybody was feeling the same thing I was. I would later find out, after getting to know each and every one of my classmates, what this truly meant to them as individuals. And I'm going to share a few of their stories, some of my favorite stories with you today, on what congratulations, welcome to Royal Canin meant to them. The first person in the classroom, now my classroom was not all salespeople. There were 3 salespeople and then 3 people that were working at corporate. The first person I really got to know was not a salesperson. I'm not going to use their names because they did share these stories with everyone in the class. There is personal information, but it was something that they chose to share, so I'm going to share it with you. The first person was hired as a temp by Royal Canin and was very eager to stay on, but was never quite sure until she got that "you're hired permanently." And she had, just before training class, gotten in a car accident and hit a deer and totaled her car. She didn't know it was totaled until like the end of the first day of class. She was called by the insurance company and they said, okay, your car's totaled. So she had a moment of excitement that she was going to get some money back from the insurance company. And then she found out that because of, this is her backstory, both her and her husband had been out of work for over 2 years. They had 2 children and they got into some financial trouble prior to being hired by Royal Canin. They had to apply for bankruptcy. So when she was called by the insurance company and told that the car was going to be totaled, she thought she was going to get a big check back and be able to update her car. Well, then she found out through the bankruptcy that a lot of that money was going to be going elsewhere. So when she was told that she was being hired on permanently with Royal Canin, this meant to her, her life, her future, a future for her kids and for her family, for benefit. So I knew that this was hugely impactful to her. So that changed her life. Congratulations, welcome to Royal Canin. Another person I met in class, her story affected me because she gave me her background story. She had a long history, varied history with Legs, the corporation. And she started in sales, moved into customer service, then into distribution and management as the company changed. Well, as women started refusing the nylon, the company started changing their model and eventually she was laid off. So she decided to take on a 50% partner and open up a doggy bakery. And this was right at the beginning of the recession. So you can imagine what happened to the doggy bakery as the recession continued on for 3 years. So she ended up selling off her half to the partner because it didn't sustain 2 incomes. So the impact of being hired by Royal Canin was huge because she really had a hard time at her age. She was 6 years away from retirement when she left Legs. And she was given the opportunity to work at Royal Canin in a very huge capacity. So they overlooked some of the newbies and some of the young blood that are out on the market right now and decided to choose somebody with experience and training and history and brought her on board. So I thought that was impactful, and she also felt that being brought on board was impactful. And the third person I spoke to was our trainer, Brent, and he explained to me his history, and I've always put vets on a pedestal because it's something that I've always wanted to be. So I asked, well, why did you leave the practice of veterinary medicine? Why are you here training my class right now? And he told me the real deal. He said, there were a lot of things that I didn't expect. I didn't expect that I would have to deal with the human aspect, the owners. And, that's not something you think of. And I think when you think you're going into medicine for the care and well-being of an animal, a person, that's what you're going to have to deal with, and then you have to become a therapist, a business owner, and all these other things. So he explained that that was a tough part of it. And, sorry. And he also explained that, that threw me off. He also explained that there was, like a math problem, there was usually an answer. There's always an answer to a math problem, but in medicine, you can do all the right things right and still come out with a negative result. And then not only do you have to explain it to the owners, but then you have to charge them for it too, even when there's a negative result. So he didn't love that. So in the end, we all have our respective stories about what led us to being hired by Royal Canin. But more importantly, we're all here now, and what we share in common is that we're here. And we can all share a collective smile when I wish you congratulations.